She says, eyes on me, and she sits there nodding to herself.
Yes, she's just like,
like,
she's talking to us, or is she what? What's she doing?
She's just pleased with herself. Don't know. Turns out we're live. Good morning. How are you? Gem's like, just
Laughing though, didn't it?
I mean, you'd like to think so. I've left all my glasses everywhere, apart from here,
where you need them.
So I've got the
warehouse glasses.
The warehouse glasses. But you know what? Look, they've got lights on. I might need new batteries, but they've got lights for those of us that are quite blind.
And it really doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. I'd say that. Oh, blimey! You know, in your eyes, when you come in from outside, and your eyes have to adjust, and then you take those off, and it's like, oh, the eyes need to adjust. That was a beautiful face. Good morning, Jane. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. It's very nice to see you. Not that I don't see you, but it's like we haven't been together for ages.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Do you know what? We discovered yesterday, because we were having a panic about doing some pre-records. Then it turns out my kids have got an offset on Monday. I'm going to be here next week as well for a bit.
That's lovely.
Yay!
Who worked that out?
Huh?
Work wife.
The office
Work wife. Yeah, because I'd given you the dates. That's why.
Yeah.
So I don't need them.
You
Work
don't need
wife
to
got
know what's
them.
going on.
No. As long as the work wife knows, we're all good. To be fair, though, I did text some of the other mums, and none of the other mums knew. I love that Gemma, who's never even been to the school, knows more than
Knows the timetable.
all of the mums.
Yeah.
They're like, are we? Is it? Yeah.
Bonus.
You'd have all been there with your kids. Like,
You would have
please
been.
take them.
We would have been. We seriously would have been, all of us.
Yeah.
I'd have
Stood
had to
at the
have
gate
walked.
going, why isn't it open? Let them in.
Let us in! And then we'd have had to have gone to the shop for ice cream.
Yeah. It's hard life.
Instead, I'll be here.
It's good. It's good. It's nice to have you live.
I'm gonna do a Lisa bag on Monday.
Oh, lovely.
Then Tuesday we're getting you ready for Christmas gifting with some beautiful Odile velvets, but in kits.
Nice.
Yeah. We've had a good morning, haven't we?
We have. We've
chopping
had
all
a
of
lovely
those.
time chopping up Odile velvet.
But of course, this Friday is Pay It Forward. So we've got some rather fabulous things going on there as well. But today, Jane, what are we doing today? Today.
We're going to do another episode of Finishing Off Your Cushion.
Yes, because you do a beautiful...
Cushion finishing with flair, to quote Gemma.
I'd just like to say,
Just
you can
finishing your
see
cushion.
how completely uncomfortable Jane is with that title, because that means that Jane has to actually admit that how she finishes cushions is really nice. Bless you. Jane was like, well, no, it's with flair, so we shall say with flair. Jane just cringes.
Well, originally she wanted to say, give your cushion a professional finish, and I was like, no, we're not having that. No, not admitting to being a professional.
And yet they do look beautifully
They
professionally
do.
finished.
They do look lovely finished, and it's a nice way of finishing. But it's the bound edge, so it will translate into your quilts as well.
You know when you do stuff for a living, that kind of makes you like a
The
professional.
Yes. Yeah,
Just
I know.
so you know.
I know this.
Yeah, just, you know.
It's your profession.
Yes. I keep saying, I'm not professional, I'm still learning.
We're all learning. We're all learning. Now, a lot of you have been on the website already. After this, Gemma wouldn't let me set it live yesterday. She was so mean. She's like, no, we're going to tease everybody.
Yeah.
So if you want the full kit, this is what you're going to get.
I did have an email this morning, a lady asking me whether we'd sold out of the advent calendars, and I wasn't sure whether she meant your Natasha Make Beautiful, absolutely amazing deal.
Oh, the advent calendar that we do. Yeah, that's sold out.
Or this one.
This hasn't sold out because this has only just gone live.
I made an assumption she was talking about the Natasha Make one, so I just said, I'm really sorry, but
You had your chance.
you had your chance.
'Cause
I
then-
didn't say that, obviously, because I'm very polite in my emails.
That's what Inga would have said. That's
Yeah.
why Inga doesn't do customer services. Soz, you had your chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, as Izzy says, soz babes.
Soz babes. Yeah, we don't let Izzy do customer service either. Can you imagine? We're quite picky who we let do our customer services because soz babe and you had your chance ain't going to cut it.
No, I don't think the customers would be happy with that. So
but we
have
them
got some
very
of
much.
these advent calendars, but Natasha Makes gorgeousness has all gone.
Soz babes, you had your chance.
Yeah.
Patricia says she loves the model like that's I don't you?
Yes.
The model on the side.
With a lovely infinity scarf.
Beryl.
Can you introduce Beryl to the world, please?
Oh, well, they've met Beryl before. Hang on.
Patricia's saying good morning, ladies.
Morning.
At the side of you.
Yes.
This
Say hello to Beryl.
this is Beryl. This is.
She's harmless, Beryl is.
It's.
Oh,
What is
have
Gemma
you
still
been
doing in
drinking?
here?
What have you got in your cup?
I don't know, and what she's still doing in here with jokes like that. Get out. Just throw me off.
Yeah, you can't think what you were saying now.
These are the infinity scarves. These have been going out like hotcakes. I wore mine yesterday.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful. And
I'm going to take a bundle home to make one.
Are
Because
you?
I think it would be really nice to wear on Remembrance Sunday.
Absolutely. And from the certainly at places like Crate and Craft, from the 1st of November onwards, we are all expected to wear poppies,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, and so actually that will be my poppy,
It's nice.
because otherwise it gets caught on mics and stuff all over the shop. What's that, Gemma?
We'll still donate.
I know, we still donate, of course.
Still buy a paper one.
I know I don't like buying the paper one. I mean, I donate, but I don't take the paper one because they annoy me. I've got a beautiful brooch
Yes.
that I bought.
My mum has as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Legion.
Yeah, from the Legion. Yeah, at Vast Personal, what have you. Right, so things to note very, very quickly are, for those of you that missed yesterday's show, we have sold out of quite a lot of yesterday's bundles. We have a few remaining. Some of these may have gone overnight, but we had one of these. I thought John was going to go for it.
I love that combination.
Oh, stunning, isn't it? This is what I made one of my bags out of. We started off with 5, we're down to 1. I can't believe we still have 1. We might not. And then so I'm not going to go through these in depth. These are all on the website. They were there yesterday. This is your floral mauve with the jumble grey. Now these should have been $15.90 and they are down to £12.49. So really,
Amazing
if you
deal.
want ridiculous prices on your KFC fabrics, now's your chance. Because otherwise, when you come back to us, and we'll have to say you've had your chance.
Some of them are cave duos, aren't they?
Apart from that part, these are all cave duos.
Well, this
here.
one's got Moda, but it's cave
Oh, yeah,
and
cave
Moda
or
if it's
Moda,
not
yeah.
this.
Yeah, designer duo. Covers all multitude of sins.
Beautiful.
So this is a cave duo for sure. I just love that magenta and orange, and it's all reflected in there. So I spent a lot of time putting these together. The one with lapis has gone, but we do still have it. Here we go, with whatever that is. Oh, here we go, Royal, Jumble Royal.
Nice.
And there's, love it.
Octopuses.
I can't believe that we have any of this left at all, because that is that background colour.
It's amazing. Beautiful.
And that green is in there. It's just, wow.
The thing is, you don't have to make the bag, do you? You've got 2 lovely half-meters.
You might do beach bags, Jane.
Yeah. Or yeah.
You see, look,
Or
that
chop them
picks
into
up.
half and add a third fabric and 2 infinity.
Oh, into affinity scarves. Yes,
Yeah, that'd look
absolutely.
lovely, wouldn't it?
Isn't that beautiful?
Lovely
I do want
colours.
to do infinity scarves, but you could, yeah, you absolutely could grab a third and go for it. And then
Oh, that's a fun combination.
it's beautiful, isn't it? Because it picks
Yeah.
out all of those colours are all in your shirt stripes. Got a handful of these ones left. Again, I made Freddie's bag out of these.
I love that.
It's just a lot of fun, isn't it?
I love the koi polloi. It is
Yeah.
good fun.
House Leeks with jumble in salmon. Picks out, if I spin that around, you'll see why I chose the salmon, because it's all through there. So they are the ones with Le Cafin. We still have this fabric cut to order because they were brand new bolts.
Yeah.
But if you wanted them with the Moda stripes that go so beautifully, picks out that yellow. This is Jen Kinwell, an Australian designer called National Park. There's a bit more to the name. National Park Australia or something like that. We have picked, you see the purples are all in there. We went through these in details. There are photographs. The stripes work a treat because they echo there. And also the stripe sizes changes as they ombre through these moved up wovens.
It's a clever ombre because it's
a
not
very clever ombre.
It's done with the width of stripe rather than colour shade.
And the other thing then to say about the wovens is that these are wovens because it's the colour of the thread that is the colour. It's not printed.
Yes.
They're
so it's the
beautiful.
same both shades.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love, love, love these. Made a bag out of these as well, which are, Jane,
behind you.
It's behind you. And so you can see there, I used my woven on the strap.
I love the teal on that one.
Beautiful, isn't it? Just gorgeous.
Really picks out the colours.
If you missed Monday's show, we made dog treat bags for that there dog who requires treats. Sometimes.
She gets spoilt rotten.
She does here. With a little pocket for your poo bags, because what goes in must come out.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. We have put that bundle up for you. That is there on the website because I forgot to put it up on Monday's show. And Inga tells me that's her favourite. She's like, I want some of that fabric. I was like, Inga, you better get in shine quick because otherwise you'll have had your chance. Right, let's have a look at this week's Half Meter Heavens. We are whizzing through. I hope that you're all okay. Shall I just quickly check? I can't because I've got these.
And you can't see.
Can't know. I'll let Gemma tell us if everyone's
Karen's
alright.
with us.
Hi, Karen.
She's got her brewing ready for some witchy goodness.
Karen. I did think of you yesterday because I did think that, you know, some of the old KFC duos would be for you. I've got a few new ones today as well coming up for Jane's show.
Lovely.
These are Half Meter Heavens that will go live tonight, apart from the fact that I've already set this one live because I had one left. Now, Jane also wouldn't let me trim back. You've got like an extra 2 inches on that because it was the end of the bolt. She's like, no. So we have got,
mean to, really.
I know, Gingerbread Nocturnal Rain Cloud.
I think that fabric's really pretty.
Do you want to see it in a bit more detail?
It's got almost a Morris
feel, hasn't it?
yeah.
With a bit of mustard, but we've taken that gorgeous light teal colour in there and pulled that through. Again, beautiful for cushions. All of these are going to work with today's show as well, aren't they, Jane?
They certainly are.
Because we are doing what sort of cushion today?
It is the bound edge cushion. I demoed the actual cushion front, simple square within a square block, on the 5th of October when we did the flanged edge. So we're just going to try a different finish.
Beautiful.
So that you can look at different finishes for your cushions.
Lovely. And here you have, this is an Odile one. Beautiful. Picking out that pink through there. You've got your mushrooms, your little mouse in a nest.
It's forager, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
It's lovely. There's snails on there and all sorts.
There's all sorts. It's a proper and interesting fungi. When I've been walking in woods, Jane, because I live near woods now, and the amount of fungi that's out at the minute, it's crazy.
It is.
Oh, we've got a Liberty.
Nice.
I've only got one though.
Is that part of the artist home one?
Yeah. Annabelle Bailey, and we've got it with gold. See that gold?
Capital letters, 2 exclamation marks.
Yeah.
Last chance.
This is your last chance saloon on the old Liberty there. Oh, Odile, more Odile.
Yeah, this is the
With your
rain
snails.
dance, it's called, isn't it?
Love them.
Strawberries. I love it. It's just so pretty.
And I really like that type of snail. You know, they're the really pretty ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there we go. We've put it with azalea.
Beautiful. Picks up the strawberries really nicely.
I like you've got a little dancing Odile there. And then just one left. Jane Sassaman.
Was found lurking on the shelf somewhere, and we're like, why is that there?
That we have been having a bit of a lurk out, haven't we?
Well, I think it's helped doing the bolt ends, because we've still got lots of bolt ends, haven't we, which make wonderful quilt backings and dress fabrics and shirt fabrics and stuff. There's been half meters that have been cut and then they've fallen between bolts.
Yes.
So we keep finding the odd half metre lurking on the shelf somewhere.
If you need a quick make or something, poppies, obviously
Beautiful.
Coming up. I can offer you poppies. It's called Bossy Mini. It's an Anna Maria Horner one. I can offer it either with Baltic or with magenta. You choose. I mean, the thing is, you might get both.
Yeah.
And then you could do your infinity scarf, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You could do a couple of those then.
Nice.
Be lovely.
Not many of those left though.
No, like handfuls. Then this one is your Japanese chrysanthemum magenta with spearmint. Now you know what we were saying, because we had this one, didn't we, with a KFC something bubble stripe. Now you see, there you go. If you wanted to put it with that plain, then you would have your.
There it is. Ooh.
Yeah.
with the bubble stripes. Have you got that?
No, it's not that one. It's this one. It's the same fabric.
Yeah.
That one went with the bum.
Oh, I've got it here.
Yeah. You've picked
It's
up
with the jumble.
Yeah. That one goes with the jumble. And so this is the same fabric. We've half metre heavened it for those of you that wanted it with a plain. But if you wanted to get both, obviously you'd get excess. But you see, you could then make your infinity scarf out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still have fat quarters and a half metre of that. Hurrah! If that makes sense. Does that make sense, Jane?
I think it does.
Yeah. Jane says yes. Oh, now, you know that I was doing a bag for Captain Small. It was because I had half metre heavened this, and there was a squidgy bit left over that wasn't quite a half metre, which is what her bag will be. I've put it with spearmint.
Nice.
But actually, the comb in blue, comb stripe in blue.
Yeah, have we got
I don't know, because I left it on the
No, I
side
think
there.
we
It's
haven't.
been
Oh, yes,
been
we have.
moved.
It's here.
Oh, yeah, it went with the...
Look at that.
I didn't realise that until I accidentally put down the straps that I'd done for Freddie's
Next
from
to
the
it.
koi polloi next
Yeah.
to it, and then went, why did I not do that? So you can, this is cut to order. You can always add yourself in a little bit of comb stripe blue.
Wonderful.
But that goes in there, doesn't it? Don't
Yeah.
want to upset the order, or there'll be trouble.
There will.
But otherwise, you can always make your bag that we did yesterday, the drawstring bag, and that will still be a lovely handle.
Absolutely.
Where
yes.
did that go so that I can finish it off? Is it down?
It's down there.
We're down there. Good, 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 good. So I will go waltzing off to that there corner. So all of these go live at midnight tonight, apart from the meadow, which is already live.
Yeah.
And there's only one.
And the Anna Maria Horner.
And the Anna Maria Horner. Oh yeah, because we wanted to give you best chance to get that because of, you know, it being that their remembrance and all. Right, one last thing then to talk about, Jane, are the bundles for today.
Right.
Now, you've got bundles from last time, haven't you?
Yes.
Which I'll leave you to show.
Yeah, there's not all of them, because we had quite a few selections last time.
Okay.
We haven't, some of them sold out, so we've only got a few of those ones left.
Excellent. So, but we wanted to bring you a variety so that if you've got more traditional or if you like, haha.
Yeah, it's just to show you that you can virtually put any, I mean, the half metre heavens would work.
They would work. They would
Any
really
duo
work.
would work, really.
So we've done some duos and some trios with just a long quarter if you want to do a different colour around the edge.
Yes.
You'll see. So imagine, if you will, us rummaging. And I found 2 more half metres of the melon in grey this time. This is the last 2 I've got in the entire warehouse. But Jane, look at these. I love these wovens.
Beautiful.
Look at the woven ombre with that and tell me that that is not a beautiful thing to put with your melons.
Stunning.
Yes?
Yes.
We all had a moment and went, ooh. These are live on the website. You can get them now, but there are only 2. So if you don't get it, do not whinge at us and say, I missed it. Because what will we say?
Our customers don't whinge.
No.
No, they don't. They ask very nicely, and we have to say, sorry.
Soz babes.
Sauce babe, you had your chance.
If you're, yeah, soz babes, you had a chance. And then Jane says very politely, I'm terribly sorry. Now this would be your middle bit. This is how I imagined it.
Yes.
With you, Jane. This is how we imagined it with lovely Dorothy.
Yes, it's
This
beautiful.
is Philip Jacobs Dorothy, named after his mother.
Yeah, you could
We
have
used
fun
to-
fussy cutting your square for the middle of this of your cushion with this, because there's lots of options.
And that incredible woman used to sweep the bombs off the top of Charing Cross Hospital
Amazing.
and drive ambulances. What a woman.
They kept the country going, didn't they?
I'm just happy if I haven't spilt soup on my bosoms. You know,
Exactly.
that's kind of the difference, isn't it, of
Yeah.
us today and them then.
Our generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can't even manage that all the time, Jane. I'm going to be honest. Right. So imagine, if you will. So we've got a long quarter here of your teal. So because it harks back to this.
Yes.
So this would be your centre.
Yeah. Jumble
Your
in
jumble.
the corners.
Would be here. Jumble in the holes! And then your teal will be what goes round there. I think that's rather lovely, Jane.
Yeah, it's a nice bundle, because you've got your 2.5 metres and then you've got a long quarter. A long quarter is more than enough to make one cushion. So if you use a different fabric for your back of your cushion, you could make 2 cushions from this bundle.
Oh, beautiful. We're saying cushions.
Yes.
Because it's a cushion show.
But it's just still a lovely bundle to have.
It's a lovely bundle. It's a lovely bundle of coconuts. It's not coconuts. So I've got 2 of these. This is the last of the coleus. This colourway coleus in I couldn't remember what it's called, so I just left that. With your jumbled teal.
Nice. Picks up the purples and the greens in there.
We're being asked when we demoed the infinity scarf. We've done it several times.
Oh yeah, Gemma says we've been asked when we demoed the infinity scarf. We have done it numerous occasions. The instructions are really, really clear, really, really easy. The instructions also give you the option to add a pom-pom trim, but you don't have to. We don't.
Doesn't it say on the bottom of the instructions when it was demoed? Or was that
I
one
don't
of the
know.
early sets that we didn't get round to do that? Yeah.
It is quite an old one. Gosh, when did we last do it? We brought those in when, you know who demanded that we did that?
No, who?
Brandon Madley.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, when he came up to the studio, and it was the first pattern that Gemma ever did for us.
It was.
Fact.
So it'll be
For a
2020,
couple of years, yeah, a
won't
couple of
it?
years.
Yeah.
Because he came up during lockdown,
We've demoed it several times since.
and we have demoed it several
I've got
times since.
April 20, because I've been asked this several times through customer service, and I think I've got April 2020 in my head, but that might be something else. So I'm not going to say, although I've just said it.
It's out there now. It's out there now. Do you know how much these are going out at?
No.
2.5 metres of designer fabric
Yeah.
and a long quarter of plain.
Mm-hmm. Go on then.
$14.99.
Really?
Yeah.
You're mad.
I told you I'd do you good deals, didn't I?
Yeah. Well,
Told
you
you,
can't get
told
better
you.
than that.
And I just love how this suddenly picks that up.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? And you've got the gold in the background there to pick up this.
And you pinked, well, quite obviously.
We pink pick the pinks.
I'd like to state the glaringly obvious this morning, Jane. That's what I'd like to do. Yeah.
Lovely.
Beautiful, isn't it? I love that one. Oh, now this one. I love this one too. You know when you just have a lot of fun this week.
I know, we have a terrible job, don't we, having to mix colours and put fabrics together. It's really, awful.
Now, I thought we only had one of these, and then
Oh.
I found a bolt holding somewhere else, but it was too late because I'd already allocated the rest. But you see, look, your dream, which is this one, will be
Yeah.
your main, and then you'll have a bit of that, and then this little snippet of blue to pick up that.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like?
I like.
You like it a lot?
I like it a lot.
Yay! But we do lots of things that require contrasts, and it might be that you want to do the beach bag, have that for your lining, that for your outer, and that for your handles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2.5 metres of fabric and a long quarter you can do so much with anyway.
Absolutely. Now, Jane, this one. For those of you that love a warmer tone in your life, dream again. You can have
Beautiful.
all sorts of fun with the angles of the stripe.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So imagine that. So we're nice and warm here, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then, boom, we are going to, I like pink and chocolate.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Look at that.
Very nice.
So it's just a shade darker there just to finish it off. Bink.
Yeah, nice full stop. Boom. Lovely.
That we both chose that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We agreed on it and went yes, 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 yesity yes. These are on today's show, everybody. You can get these here and now. So these bundles, 1, 2, 3, that one, any with 3 in, with your long quarters in there, are $14.99. That one and that one are £12.49. Must have been mad, I tell you, mad. Long quarter of black.
I love this. I love.
love.
I'm going to say starkness, and that's wrong, but it's just got
Contrast.
clean. It's got clean
yeah.
lines to it.
So, fronds. Fronds, apart from it sounding a bit like the Fonz, which makes me giggle to myself. Fronds is a lovely one. When you live on the moor, as I did in the middle of Bodmin, the landscape will change within a week of the ferns coming out, the fronds unfurling and the ferns.
Yes,
I don't know
beautiful.
how many more F-based words I could put in there. I'm going to see. But no, not that F word, Gemma. She's
Just be
making...
careful.
I'm going to be really careful. It's like being around your grandmother. You don't ever swear. There are certain times when you don't swear.
Absolutely.
In front of your grandmother, and when you're teaching is one of them.
When you're on customer services.
Customer services,
Yeah.
no, you say
Yeah.
soz babes.
Soz babes.
You had your chance.
I love that. That combination is really lovely.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Is that your favourite today?
I don't know. There's several in there that I would be
That
quite
you-
happy to take home with me.
Big rummaging for. Possibly will be, yeah, right. But if you wanted, I mean, you could do it the other way, couldn't you? And have
Yeah.
that as your...
Absolutely. I have great fun with that fronds fabric.
Now this one, Jane McJane. So this is where the rest of the dream went. I had a dream. Because look at the aqua jumble.
That picks up both blues in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's lovely.
And that's your full stop.
Nice, nice.
Isn't it? Because look, you've got both. You've got all the blues in all the world. Now the next one, brollies. I want to do something big and bold with brollies. I do. Can you tell me, Karen, have you made a dress out of brollies yet? And if not, why not? And if I mean, I can't make dresses very well, but I tell you what, I wouldn't half mind an infinity scarf with this.
That would look lovely, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? And that. Now, Jane, there are many reasons that I love you dearly, and this was one of them. Because I said, Jane, do I play it safe and go magenta here? And we pulled out all the colours, didn't
Yeah,
I?
we
Pulled
did.
out all the colours. I said, actually, I quite like the lime. And I was expecting Jane to play it safe. She went, no, the lime. Because it picks out the lime around there.
Yeah, it just sings, I think, with the lime.
I love the lime. So, yeah, if you want to play it safe, buy yourself a half metre of magenta. But because we went lime,
Because we love the lime.
and fabulous. I might do one of those for my velvet sofa, you know.
Oh yeah, that
Because
looks
that against
gorgeous.
the blue would
Nice.
be wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Sorry,
then
it'd be what? It'd be what? What?
Fluff. Yeah. Fluff. That's what you do when you see something that you just love.
I
So I
don't
like swore.
Yeah.
but with a fabric froth at the end. It couldn't be more onomatopoeic if I tried, Gemma. Really?
That's lovely.
The English wasn't lost on you, was it?
I didn't finish it. To be fair, got a bit bored and thought I think I'll do physics instead.
Yeah, because that's a lot easier.
Yeah. So I did. And biology and all of that jazz.
You don't need to say anything about this, really. It is what it is, and it's beautiful.
Climbing geraniums.
Stunning.
The fronds.
Yeah.
The fronds. Yeah.
And a bit of black.
Yeah.
Just stunning.
Do you know what? Amethyst might have been quite nice as well. But
Yeah, you could have a...
you could always get yourself a bit. Treat yourself. Or lavender. So they are today's offerings, ladies and gents. They are live. They are on the website www.natashamakes.com. I shall sing it for you because that might help you remember. Or just the fact that we're called Natasha Makes should be
help.
that too. Right, Jane, I'm not going to show everybody this right now. I'm just going to flash a bit. Not,
Nice.
no, not like that. It's a family show.
I'm just going to sneeze, I think.
Sorry?
I think I'm going to sneeze. No,
I mean,
I'm not.
that's better than vomit at the thought of me flashing, to be fair, so we're all good. Right.
Oh, Zappy dots.
Zappy dots. These have been sitting around.
Don't show the
haven't-
top of the box.
Yeah, I know, it's got a bit dusty.
Wiped that.
It's all right on the very, very
Yeah.
top of the warehouse, isn't it? Now, oops, it's on the floor now. Okay, These I will show you on Friday's show. They are already being discounted as we speak. Have they been discounted or are they mid-discount? Mid-discount. So what do we have? These are from Zappy Dodds. They are all Philip Jacobs and Kay Fassett designs. So you've got here, this is your scissor fob. You can put that on your scissors. But we all know that's going to be a key ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
With your favourite fabric things on there. So you've got, do you remember the agate?
Yeah.
Got it in agate. And then you've got your needle nannies. Now these are fabulous. This is with the feathers.
Beautiful.
And so these are magnetic.
Yeah.
So you can either put them on your tin or whatever it is, wherever you want to put them.
If you're doing hand sewing, you can put the magnet on the back and the Zappy dot on the front, and then you can rest your needle on it.
Yep.
With your Baltimores.
Yeah, with your Baltimores. So that's your magnet on the back, and there's your and you just move it around wherever you want.
Yeah.
So they are rather fabulous. We've got some key fobs in the feather design. We've got it in. Oh, hang on. Have I got mine? Yeah.
Yes.
Hang on. I love this. Is one of my favourite designs from Philip.
This is lovely.
And look, we've got it
Super.
in there. You don't have to pull the face. That's just optional.
These are going to make lovely little gifts, aren't they?
Especially
you know,
the
secret
amount.
Santas or
Yeah.
cracker gifts, or even, you know, just a little. You've got a friend that sews and you just want to get them a little something.
I just think they're beautiful. We also have some necklaces in there, sterling silver necklaces in there. What else do we have? Oh, we've got the zingers. So if you're buying the... I'll show you this, right? Because you might go, well, I don't know where to put my needle nanny. That's all right. Because you can always put it on a zinger. You could do if I could open them. Do you know what a zinger is?
No. Go on. Explain.
Well, you can then, when you're
Oh, yes, it extends. But
So-
it's magnetic, so it sits on it.
it's a retractable dobby jobby, what's it?
It's great for your scissors as well.
You can load these up. The
Yeah.
load bearing on these is phenomenal. So you can attach that, you pull that down, attach it wherever you want to. Be it, you know, maybe it's around your jeans or something like that, your belt on your jeans. You're never going to lose it. Do you remember it's a bit like nurses
Yes.
stuff, isn't it? And then you put your dotty thing in there. Like that.
Yeah.
And then you can clip that onto there. And if you want to, you've got it so that people don't nick it
Yeah.
or not. It's entirely up to you. These are really great. I've only got a few little zingers. What else have I got? Oh, I've got a couple of pendants. So if you want to put your Zappy dot onto a pendant, and then we've got the chains, and then you can wear them. I've worn mine and had lots and lots of comments.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We've actually got the jewellery base attached.
The jewellery base. So I've got a couple of silver zingers, and I've only got like one silver one left of those.
All right.
So they're your jewellery bases. So you have them as like a pendant. I think that's it. We've got some, yeah, like I say, we've got some little silver necklaces, solid, you know, they're sterling silver. There's all sorts in there. I will go through these in more detail on Friday because I've got a Friday show, don't forget. And so, yeah, but I just wanted you to know that they are there.
Available. Nice.
And and again, you know, rummage now or forever hold your peace. Because if they've gone by Friday, I won't be held responsible. You've actually, even Gemma's sitting in the corner going, you've had your chance, you've had your chance. Jen, I'm going to leave you to it.
Okay.
I'm going to go over there, say hello to everyone, kick Gemma off. What you got?
Show
us your wares.
Do you want me to talk about the advent calendars? What we've got, because they've got a nice little bundle going with these, haven't we?
Yeah, we did show those right at the start, didn't
Do
we?
you want
But
me
we
to
can
just
always
explain
recap.
about how the lights go in and everything? We've got the instructions. The instructions are just about adding your lights. They don't tell you how to put the calendar together because all the instructions are on the panel already.
Beautiful.
So
Can
you
spin
follow
it
that
round the
now.
right way, Jane, please.
Sorry. So everything's written on there. Now, on the instructions, they talk about binding it, so putting it together and then binding it, which you can do, and we're going to talk about binding in a moment. But on mine, I just bagged it together. So I cut the front, the wadding and the backing all to the same size, sewed around all 4 sides, leaving a good 5-inch gap at the bottom or at the side to then pull it through, and then hand sewed that up. And that's the one behind us. Put tabs in there as well, which you can make from your fabric because you'll have some left over. So the panel is 60 centimetres, and you've also got your red fabric as well that is also 60 centimetres. So you've got 2 pieces the same and your lights in there. I just marked out where I wanted my lights to be and then sewed free motion sewing round and round in a circle. If you've got an eyelet tab on your sewing machine, you could do an eyelet. Some people have got alphabets, you could use the letter O as well, that also works. Once you've done your circle, take your unpicker, your seam ripper, and just poke it through the hole in the middle around the sewn edge, and then you can poke the lights through from the back where you've decided they want to be, and you make a little pocket to hold the battery pack in. The lights that I've used on mine are slightly different. They're more like tree lights. They've got a stand-up bulb. The lights that we're giving you are on a wire, and the lights fall flat on the wire. But what you can do is you can fold the wire up and poke the lights through the same way. You can stitch your lights to the backing to hold it together if you want to. I haven't, because each year I take my lights out of my advent calendar and store them separately, taking the batteries out. And then you can fold it up and put it away with your Christmas decks.
Nothing to see here, Jane. Nothing to see here.
Just a little rascally puppy arrived in the studio. So that's the kit for those. We have demoed that. I can't quite remember when we did it, but it was last year. Probably November, June time. June time.
Probably November.
It's on the product page. So whenever you order something and you look at the product page, if you scroll further down, it does actually tell you. And sometimes there's more than one date because we will have done things more than once, but it will tell you on there.
Unless it's a very, very old make.
Yeah, the very first fews we didn't do that, and then we quite quickly realised that people needed to know. So it's now on the instructions. So the cushion finishing with flare, the bound edge version. If you want to see the demonstration of how I put the cushion front together, 5th of October this year, 2022 is when we did that. We had several bundles. The red bundle sold out, although I don't have a sample of the red anyway. But we've got, these are Moda fabrics, duos that we put together. We still have available. It's lovely cream and the blue there. So we've got those 4 sets of duos still available if you like this colour combination. It's quite traditional, beautiful Moda fabrics, but you know, all of the ones that Natasha showed you earlier with the caves will work just as well. And those bundles have got an added long quarter in to do binding with. You can actually get them out of the 2.5 meters. You just need to cut your 2 binding strips first before you cut your centre square. And it does say that in the instructions, so you'll be all right.
Hurrah! So all the duos that we've showed you today, you can
still make this product with.
Brilliant.
Which is rather lovely. So I demonstrated on the 5th of October, I demonstrated how to do the flanged edge. And we've got some more of the flanges back in because they quickly sold out.
We like a good flange.
So we have the teal, which we used in this one. We still have the teal, but we ran out of the burgundy. So we have the burgundy, and we've got some more of the beige and the really beautiful dark cream, which works well with all of the colours, even the blue, because there's that element of burgundy in the blue as well. So we've got the cream as well, which is slightly paler than the beige. We've got numerous colours of the flange piping. So if you wanted to do the flange piping with one of the K fabrics, you'll find a colour that will go stunningly. We've got, you know, nice bright ones of those as well.
Decisions, Janio. Decisions.
Yeah, we've got a lovely selection of flange piping. It's really nice colours. Okay, bound edge.
Yes.
The bound edge is done in the same way as I would do my quilt.
Right.
The only difference is, obviously, I've got to put the backing on my cushion so that it becomes an envelope back. So I've already cut my 2 pieces, and again, this is all talked about in the instructions, and I've demonstrated this already. This time, because when we did the flanged one, we put them right sides together.
Yes.
Now we're going to put this wrong sides together, making sure that the hemmed edge is in the middle. Because it's really annoying if you put your hemmed edge against the edge and then sew around it and realise you've got a raw edge on the outside of your cushion when
We've
you
all
shouldn't
done
have
it.
had.
We have all done it.
So I'm going to pin those just in place just to hold them. And for the flanged cushion, the piped cushion, the bound cushion rather, I am going to work from the reverse side because I find this a quick way, and will machine stitch around the edge. So I am putting the pins on the side that I am going to see. They're not going to be hidden underneath. You might find when you've quilted your squares it squidges in slightly with the quilting, and you might have to trim your envelope backing slightly.
That's all right.
Better that way than it not being big enough.
Do you know, Ginny says that she's got her lawn covered in, smothered in fungi. She's got about 6 different varieties, Jane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it when they grow in like a circle, and my granddad used to say, oh, it's a fairy ring. It's like where the fairies live all together.
Yeah.
Right, so you pin your backs together, making your binding. I use the straight edge binding, and I usually when I'm making a quilt I cut my binding strips at 2.5. For a cushion, cut it just a smidge narrower, 2 1/4.
Okay.
Just because I like it that little bit tighter.
Okay.
It gives a nicer, crisper edge, I feel. I only need 2 strips for this size cushion. It's an 18-inch cushion, no, 16-inch cushion. So I know that I'm going to have plenty. With 2 width of fabric strips, I'm going to have plenty. So your long quarter, as I said, is more than generous. You'll probably be able to get 2 cushions from the bundles that we've put together.
Amazing.
Which is rather lovely.
Yeah, Nikki said I could hear her wanting to be involved in the show. Mabel's now gone for her walk, for her constitutional.
Oh, bless her. I'm just going to cut the salvages off there. And I join them together using a 45-degree seam. It's very straightforward. If you've got pattern fabric, you have the horizontal strip facing upwards, right sides facing up, and then I'm going to place a second strip, right sides facing down. I'm going to line up the edges, so the right sides together, right sides facing up horizontally, vertical strip, right sides facing down. With a fabric marker.
I've got a few, Jane. I've got a few.
Find one, anyone. That one will do. Mark the 45-degree line. Now, it's quite easy to do with your creative grid ruler to mark the 45-degree line. You've got your line on your ruler there. It's got 45 degrees on it. You place that on the bottom, running along the horizontal strip that you've placed down. You've got that line across there. You make sure your ruler's in the corner, corner to corner, mark your line. Pop a couple of pins in, because you just know that as you move it to the sewing machine, it's going to decide to come apart and change its direction. And then sew on that marked line.
On the line.
It's going to take. I've got it.
There you go.
I've got it ready for.
You got ready for walking, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'd forgotten about adding the markers. So just take the even feed part of the foot off. There we go.
That is the beauty of the UX8, though, isn't it? You just
it's just
drop your
literally
feed dog on.
Putting that down, and it's just lovely.
Morning, Carol. Carol's been sending me all her photos of her mates. It's lovely. I'm so nosy.
Really nice.
I love to see all of them. We had a beautiful photo of one of our Pay It Forward projects, which we can't share. I think they might be being gifted. But thank you very much. You know who you are for sharing your photos. Actually, we've had some lovely photos. Did you see the bag?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Stunning, wasn't it?
Really looked lovely.
Really stunning.
Really lovely. So we've walked. No, we haven't. We've sewn on the line. Got a bit of a Johnny Cash there, walking on the line. Sewn on the line. We're going to line the 1/4 inch mark of our ruler on that sewn line, and we're just going to trim that corner off. And that gives us a continuous strip there. We're then going to press that seam open.
On our pressing mats, which are flying out, by the way.
I was going to say they haven't hung around, have they?
No,
Very
we might
popular.
have 1 or 2 of the big ones left, and maybe a couple more of the smaller ones.
Yeah. Now
Small
I press
one's really useful.
I press the seam open to reduce the bulk, and it's a 45-degree line again to reduce the bulk. If I did a straight seam, when I fold that in half, you're going to have quite a lot of bulk there, whereas by doing it that way, you've only got one set of seams in 2 different places. So that's the reason for doing it. You know, it's not just a thing I like to do. It's done for a reason.
Oh, now
is what
come
I'm trying
on,
to
Jane.
say.
Not
You
just
know,
fancifully
just not my
done.
fanciful thing. So once I've got all my strips joined together, I'm going to place them, what is in effect wrong sides together along that length, and I'm going to press it in half.
Now, Claire Angelina says, speaking of flange, lots of flaps on a plane. That's what they're called. She said, but you lot have changed my innocent mind. No, we've educated you. What have we done, Jane?
Well, if that's what you think, yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
We've educated
them.
Education. You now know that a flange is also a finish for a cushion.
Yeah. Or a quilt. You can put a bit of
Or a
flange in your
quilt.
quilt.
There you go. It's never a waste. Education is never a waste.
Absolutely not. So we're just pressing this in half along that edge. You could use your gadgets that Natasha was demonstrating yesterday. They work just as well within that to do this type of binding. It doesn't have to be the double folded binding. Works just as well to keep it together and make it quicker. It's used in all sorts of things, the word flange. I'm sure it's used in engineering as well. I'm sure that there's things in engines that...
Well, I mean, yeah,
flanged.
aeroplanes, there you
Yeah.
go. See, aeroplanes immediately. But it's just that...
It's one of those words. It's just funny. It's a funny
Well, it
word.
was, do you know what, yeah, and I had a moment, when I first used it, no, it was Stuart Hillard. I was on Crate and Craft with Stuart Hillard. And he used it. Only, yeah, and I just ended up saying to him, oh, nobody likes a wobbly flange. And that was it. Neither of us could speak for the next half an hour for laughing.
It's just a funny word.
Might have gone viral.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right, so you've got your binding made. And as I say, this works with the quilt as well as the cushion. So this is how I do my binding on my quilts as well.
Go on then.
So lining up the edge of the raw edge, not the folded edge, the raw edge with the edge of my cushion.
And Jane, where do you start?
I give it a good sort of like 2/3 of the way through the edge lining that up, but I'm not going to start sewing until about 2 inches away from the edge.
Okay.
Of.
And does it matter what side?
No, any side, doesn't really matter.
See, I might start mine along the bottom because I figure that if I mess it up, people are less likely to see the bottom because you're going to be sitting it on there. Morning, Glenys.
So you've got all of this loose before you start sewing.
Right.
1/4 inch from the edge down to approximately 1/4 inch before you get to the next edge. So just along that part there. So I can just bring the even feed foot down on here.
Oh,
if you're doing it at home and you have a walking foot, put your walking foot on.
Why do we need to do that, Jane?
Because you are sewing through so many layers. You've got your 3 layers of your quilted front, you've got 2 layers of envelope backing and 2 layers of binding.
Oh, okay.
An ordinary presser foot's going to push that all over the place. Right, so 1/4 inch away from the edge. I would just do a couple of reverse stitches and then carry on, just because we're going to, when we come to join it, we're going to be pulling it and moving it around, so it might come undone. So when we get 1/4 inch away from the end, we are then going to just sew at approximately a 45-degree angle. You do not need to get your protractor out and check it. You're just going into the corner.
I don't know if I still have my protractor.
I needed a compass the other day, so I went and bought one of those little geometry, can't even say it.
Oh, yes! That always felt like going back to school.
Yeah, I love it because it's all
Did it come in a
neat
little tin? Did it come in the tin? Did you get the tin?
And it's all
brilliant.
folded up all lovely with its
Yes.
set square and everything. It's lovely.
Amazing.
So that goes into that corner there. So we now take that strip, which is still running horizontally along the edge of the cushion. We're going to fold it up and away from the edge of the cushion. So it goes, I always remembered it as flip-flop. So you flip it up and then you flop it back. That's how I remembered it.
Brilliant.
All these little things that help you remember stuff. So you want the raw edge of your cushion that you're now going to start sewing down. You want that level with the raw edge of your binding strip. If you can see that, how that runs like that. Then we fold it back and we bring it back down so that the edge of your binding is now level with the edge of your cushion. Now I like to have the fold just a little bit proud from the edge of the cushion. It's literally the width of the fold, really.
Right.
I don't know, maybe we go close up on that.
Go on, let's treat everyone to a close-up,
I don't know
shall
if
we?
they can see
Have
it.
HD camera, we'll use it.
It's just a little bit proud from the edge there. Literally, really the width of the fold. So once we've got that folded down and we're happy with where it is, if I press my finger on that, you can see the fold underneath. And so I always run my nail along it just to form a little crease, and then I will start sewing 1/4 inch in, but just underneath that fold. And that happens then, that gives you that piece there loose. But when you fold it back over, it forms a mitre.
Okay, got it.
So we're just going to take it back to the machine. You can put a pin in it if you want to hold it while you do it, before you move it along. And we just start, as I say, just underneath that fold. And we go all the way down, keeping the edge of the binding against the edge of the cushion. I tend not to pin my binding when I'm putting it on. I tend to do it like this just because I find it easier, because sometimes, the fabric moves slightly and you can adjust as you sew.
Okay.
I know some people like to pin it first, and that's fine. I've just gone over the edge there slightly, but that'll be okay. And then we're going to stop at the just 1/4 inch away, and we're just going to sew into the corner. And again, fold that up and away. So flip it up.
Oh, hang on. There we go, yep.
Flip it up, and then flop it back down. So flip, flop.
Flip and flop.
That's it, flip, flop.
Perfect.
Just make the crease where the corner comes, and then we go again. Just starting underneath that fold.
I just love listening to that machine, it's so quiet.
It is such a lovely sound, isn't it? Into that corner. And then this is the final side. Bit up and bring it down. You can see this bit of fabric here, it's just that the backing's just slightly bigger, so I'm ignoring it because I'm working against the edge of the cushion front.
Could you, if you wanted to, just baste your cushion front and back together before you start doing all of this?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't move around as much?
Absolutely, you could definitely do that.
Or if you've got an overlock so it's all neat as well.
Yeah, if that helps you as well. And I could have just pinned it and turned it over and just trimmed that extra bit off beforehand if I was, if I was being really careful. But it'll disappear into the binding anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Guys, are you getting your advent calendar? Not the Natasha Makes one, but the light up one. It's sold with the lights.
And the backing fabric.
And instructions on how to insert the lights into it. The instructions for how to make the advent calendar are on the panel. But I know that we teased you with it yesterday. So please do grab that.
So we're on our last edge now. I'm going to do the corner in the same way. Flip it up and flip it down. Flip flop.
Flippity flop.
Just make that crease in there. And then I'm going to sew that again about 2 inches. So that I will have a goodly amount. There's probably about 10 inches there, 8 inches. And that is so because I'm going to join the strips together, I just need that space to manoeuvre.
Yes.
If I go too close, you just end up being really tight and it's not so easy to do. So I'm just going to sew from this corner now down to where my pin is.
We got this. Morning Grace, morning Danny.
And again, I'll just do a couple of reverse stitches just to strengthen that little bit there because we're going to manipulate it. Now I've got more than I need for my binding here where it overlaps. And what I like to do is I like to take a piece of the binding strip, about a 3-inch piece. I'm just doing this back to front, don't look at me.
Nothing to see here.
It's not the ideal way to cut your fabric. You take the piece that you're started sewing with and you have that lying flat against the edge of your cushion or your quilt. This is done exactly the same way. Take that little bit that you've cut off and line it up with the edge of that piece so that you've got a bit of proud and a bit on top and bottom, and your crease that you had before is lying vertically. Then take the other strip and bring that across and place that over the top of the 2 strips. Now you can do one of 2 things. You can either mark it with your pen where that on that right hand side of that strip there, and then take it off and take it to your cutting mat and cut on that line there with your rotary cutter, or you can simply take your scissors and just snip it. You don't have to mark it, you can just snip it level with the edge.
But just snip the top one, don't snip
don't
the
snip
bottom
both,
one because otherwise
they
all
won't
this
join
hard work
together.
Will be wasted, won't it, Jane?
It certainly will.
Oh, morning Arlene.
So once you've got that edge trimmed off, you don't need this piece anymore. And what you can do is you could keep that piece and use that with all of your binding strips.
Would you mark it and write on
You
it
could
what
say,
it is?
you know, binding marker or something like that, and have it in your sewing basket or whatever. You don't have to do it every time. If you use a consistent width of binding, then you know which one you've got. So you then take the strip that you started with and you move that to one side. You take your strip that you finished with, and I probably could have given myself a bit more room here, and open that out so that the right side is facing upwards. Take your strip that you started with, and this is why you need so much space, and you're going to put them right sides together. Now you need to mark the 45-degree line again on this, which you can do with your ruler and your pen, but the easiest thing I find to do is to just fold it, and I fold it back and I crease it. Now be careful when you're creasing it, because obviously it's a biased edge and you don't want to stretch it, but I've now got a nice crease in there, and you could take it to the iron and give it a good crease as well. I've got a crease there that I can see is my 45-degree line.
Ah, so you match them, because I'm
Yeah.
never quite sure which way around it goes, and I have demonstrated that about 3 times getting it wrong on air before now.
Yeah, it's easy to get it upside down. So you've got that line across the top of there. So this strip that the finished side is opened out with the right sides facing up. The strip you started with is opened out with the right sides facing down. You then place those in the corner. I've got my 45-degree mark, and you'll pin that in. And even when you've got a gap like this, sometimes it's a little bit hard to manipulate, so just take your time and just make sure everything is lined up. And then we sew on that line. Just going to move that pin the other way so that I don't bash into it with my sewing machine. And again, you just have to manipulate it so that you've got it lying flat, because it is quite tight, and that's why you give yourself so much room. And obviously if you're doing a quilt, you can give yourself even more room.
You say manipulate, I say you need a bit of jiggery pokery.
Yeah, fight it, basically.
Fighting
Yeah.
talk from Jane. Fighting talk. Morning Leslie, morning Roz. Everybody's joining us. Morning Di. Oh, Karen, I think you do need a dress in the brollies. I hear what you're saying, but it would still be a fabulous dress.
So I've taken the pins out now,
hang
and
on.
before I
There you go.
do anything else, I'm just going to check that when I pull that together, it does fit and it lies nice and flat. If it's too loose, you can always readjust it. If it's too tight again, you can readjust it just by taking it. You just might have to move the top strip either nearer or further away, depending on where you want it to be. But I do find that using this piece of fabric, I've never had it not fit.
Yeah, no,
Because
brilliant.
I've got my gap exactly
Yeah.
the width of my binding. So once you're happy that it fits, you need to just snip that bit of that corner off there. And again, you can take it to your mat with your rotary cutter, or you can just take your scissors, because again, it's difficult to manipulate it. You can take your scissors and just, work a... Nobody's going to see it, so if it's bigger than 1/4 inch, it's not the end of the world. Cut that corner off, and then press that seam open. You can take it to your iron and do it. I finger press mine, just because I'm too impatient. It works. Just stick your finger in there and just make sure it's folded flat, and then I just take it back to the machine and carry on sewing. And I usually start a little bit before where I finished, so I'm sewing over the line, and I'll usually go a little bit past where I started as well, just to reinforce that join. I don't know that I need to, but in my head it's just going to stop it from unravelling.
I do exactly the same thing, Jane, because in my head I think exactly the same.
Yeah, I
I
think
could always do a holding stitch, but no, I just
No.
like to go a little bit past it.
just to keep it in the right place. Okay. Now, if I was doing a quilt, I would probably do that on the front and then hand stitch my binding at the back. Sometimes when I've got a really quick project I need to do, I'll machine stitch, and I will do it this way on my quilt as well. So if we can go close up, Tash, I'll just show the corners. The corners, if you remember, we sewed up and across, and then we started on the fold there, so we'd got this flap of fabric. When we pull that over to the back, that is going to form a mitre. Some people like to hand stitch this down. I don't bother, I don't think it needs doing, but it's entirely up to you. You might want to press your binding so that it's nice and tight away from the edge of your quilt cushion edge. Then you take it to the front and you fold your corner in the opposite direction. So you bring the one edge over, it forms 45-degree-ish line there, and you bring the other edge across the top. But it's going the opposite way to the fold at the back.
Okay.
If you fold it the same way, it's quite bulky, and I don't know if you can see that. It looks like a little nostril. So you don't want a nosy quilt. You want it to lie nice and flat, so you're going in the opposite direction.
I did not know that. Morning, Claire. Morning, Ali B.
Now, with this method, you can also hand stitch it down if you want to. If you want to sit and do a bit of mindful stitching, it's very nice and relaxing. It's one of my favourite jobs, sewing my quilt edge down.
Is it?
Yeah, my binding edge. I love it. But you can also take it to your machine. Now, I like to take my needle back to the middle, my needle position back to the middle, not my 1/4 inch, because I like to sew as close to the edge of the fold as I can.
Right, do you know what I do, Jane, at this point?
Yeah.
I get my 1/4 inch Qantas tape and I put it on the edge of my binding.
Yeah.
And because with the quilter's tape we've got at the moment, it really does give a good fuse if you apply a little bit of heat.
Yes.
And I just press it onto the front side, and then it's there. You know, and I can get it.
Because you can use your quilter's clips, or you can pin it. Yeah, whatever works for you.
And I did that on a quilt that I had to quilt very, very quickly.
Yes.
And it just held everything where I needed it to be.
Yeah. You can do this by machine, and I have also seen people that have taken one of their fancy embroidery stitches on their machines and done it over the edge, which gives another decorative finish, which looks rather fabulous.
And the thing is, we buy these machines, and come on, before we introduce you to Juki, which has lots of stitches, don't get me wrong, but not as many as some others, because it rather likes to do the simple stuff super well, doesn't it? That's the joy of Juki. It doesn't have anything unnecessary on it. But how often you bought your machine going, oh, it's got 100 and whatever different stitches. How many times do you use them?
You don't use them very often. You might use your alphabet to do a label for the back of your quilt, or embroidered somebody's name, you know, personalise something. But it's very rare that you use all of your embroidery stitches, is it?
Exactly.
You know, you'll use your buttonhole for your applique, but you know, just have a play.
Yeah.
You can make yourself like a little pattern book. You can just get some calico and just try all the stitches on your machine.
Nice.
It's really pretty
fun,
with variegated threads. Yeah, variegated threads can look fabulous with some of the embroidery patterns.
And you can hang it almost like a sampler.
Yeah. But you'll have it then as a reference, so you can look at it. Because sometimes it's not always easy to see how the stitch is going to look when you get from the pattern on the design on the machine.
Yeah.
You know, you can't always visualise it. So yeah. So I get to the corner and I just pivot and carry on. And as I say, I'm sewing as close to the fold as I comfortably can. And what you'll find is that when you turn it over, hopefully, the line of stitch will fall into the ditch, if you like, of the seam at the back of the binding.
Nice.
So it's virtually invisible. Sometimes you'll catch it. If you're using the same colour thread as your binding, you'll not notice it so much anyway. And it is on the back, so it's not the end of the world. You're not sending it into a competition So nobody else is going to be judging it. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourself.
Virginia says, every day is a school day. It is round Jane. You learn something new every day.
I try to make things interesting for you so that you do find something new.
Jane, you were outvoted yesterday. I hate to tell you this.
It doesn't happen, well, it happens quite often.
On my political survey of, and this was with our viewers, of if you could do a job for 40 days that would have you go down in history, possibly not for the reasons that you wanted, and forever be a quiz question.
Yeah.
But it had secured you a rather large salary for the rest of your life. Would you do the job that you'd be ridiculed for?
Yeah, and I said no.
Jane was a flat no.
No,
Gemma's
I would
like,
not.
That amount of money, I could move abroad, no one would know where I was, who I was.
But yeah, that's not true though, is it? Because the media, they know you everywhere now. You can't go into hiding anymore. Somebody will find you and it will be on social media within minutes. And you'll never, ever be able to just pop down the supermarket with no makeup on.
Oh.
In your slippers. You know, you are forever infamous.
Oh, Ali on YouTube is still poorly, so she sent Donald to Marks and Spencer's for bread and milk. But he's come back with bread and milk, tick, he's done well, and also tubs of chocolate cornflake cake.
Oh, nice. Just what you need when you're not feeling poorly, when you're not feeling well.
He's a keeper. Well done,
Isn't
Donald.
he just?
You see, my dad always used to do the opposite. If ever my mum was ill and he had to do the shopping when we were kids, it's like, what's all this unnecessary shopping? That's the nice bit, Dad. That's the chocolate biscuits and the crisps and the stuff that we like.
Yeah.
So no, you don't need that. What? And my mum's 3 o'clock biscuit, chocolate biscuit that she likes.
Yeah.
Ah, Cynthia says, OMG, looks like you can literally make this project in less than an hour. Great design and demonstration. Cynthia, we aim to please.
This is just a very simple square within a square block that we use to show off the fabrics. If you've got a lovely big print and you don't want to cut it into small pieces, I mean, the cafe is, you know,
that's why we've chosen so many
cafe is just like that, because, you know, quite often there's just so beautiful. You don't really want to cut it into smaller pieces. This design is going to show them off beautifully. But you can use any of your blocks. You'll have orphan blocks you've tried and you're like, yeah, I like it, but I'm not going to make 20 of them to make it into a quilt. You can make it into a cushion.
Yes.
Just quilt it quickly and simply, even if it's just going around the shapes, and then add your envelope back. And yeah, you can make a cushion cushion cover in a morning, no problem.
Which then means that you can you know, you can redo your house in all sorts of different colours.
Absolutely.
Sally says that she's supposed to be working, but oops, watching you instead. What a fab session, thank you. See, Jane, I told you we needed this.
Yeah.
We did need this.
It is nice to be able to see, because quite often, you know, we don't get to demonstrate the binding. And as I said, this is exactly the same way as I would do a quilt. I have just said that, you know, quite often I will do it on the front and then bring it to the back and hand sew the back down. And I do love to do that. I do love to sit with my quilt on my knee, hand stitching the binding down. I would take this end here, this thread, put it onto a needle and just sew it into the backing. But today I'm just going to snip it off. So there you go. And you can see now on the back here, you can't really see it.
Oh, hang on, where are you moving? Where are you putting it?
Sorry.
Just do this. You would be able to see.
Pretend that the cameras can, you know, work out where I'm going.
Well, no, it's now all...
That line of stitch there is just sitting underneath that binding.
Jane, yo. Has it moved it? Have you
Yeah,
got
there
a different... Are you in the right place? There we go.
So my line of stitching is just sitting underneath that binding. And because I've got the same colour thread as my background fabric, you really can't see it. You can see it a little bit there. It's called the corner edge there where I finished. But nobody's going to see that when it's on the sofa, and you can put that corner at the bottom.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
So that nobody sees it.
Perfect.
But Jane, you can see lovely? How beautifully that goes together, and it gives you a really nice professional finish to your cushion.
Yeah, you see,
shall we go with that?
Grudgingly, you will say it now.
You've just got that ready to put your cushion in.
Him indoors would forget what he was sent out to buy. He would
Oh.
phone to ask, and then buy pastries and biscuits and cakes and smoothies as well. And then Gemma says, this is Guy, except that he wouldn't call about the things he forgot. He would be so distracted about the pastries, biscuits and cakes that he would absent-mindedly return with only those things.
Yeah.
I mean, worse things have happened.
Yeah. So you can see with this one, and I love this combination. You know, if you've got a family member going to uni,
Yeah,
around
send
this
them with
time,
something nice.
This is lovely because this is like a real cuddle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's not going to take you long. You might want to make
And
them a
also
quilt, but
brighten up there, a little bit of home,
Yeah.
a home hug.
absolutely. So, you know, and I love this combination. This is quite, shall we say it, masculine? Nice in a gentleman's office or something like that.
Yeah, on a leather chair,
Yeah,
very nice.
super. So, and the stripe, you can cut it so that the stripes go the same way, or you could have the stripes running in the diagonal, whichever. I did simple parallel quilting with this one, and a bit of squiggly wiggly in the middle on that one. But you can see I cut the binding the same as the fabric in the middle.
And that's why we've done the bundles that we've done for
Yeah.
you. So
You can get it from 2.5 meters, but if you get, it's nice to have the plain, which sort of accents the two colours, really sets it off nicely. So yeah, great bundles, great price,
well,
great value.
great, yeah.
I mean, even if you don't want a cushion, you've got a great value bundle of fabric for your stash. So there you go.
Jane, thank you very much. You see, these are the things that we need to learn, because until we know these basics, what is the point in doing anything else?
Well, this is it. You need to. It's all very well, isn't it, making your blocks and everything, but you do need to know how to finish it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course you do.
Lovely.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much. Right, everybody, we are back, not tomorrow.
I'm giving you a day off tomorrow. But
Yeah,
you're back
yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah, but we are back Friday with a pay it forward. It's just me.
All on your own, son.
All on my lonesome,
Oh,
Jane.
nobody else to press the buttons for
No,
you.
no. Gemma Lala is having a day off.
What?
I
Really?
know. I
She
know.
never gets a day off.
I know.
Even when she says she's off, there's always one of us pestering her for something.
No, she's actually off. And SJ, I think, might be in Manchester, but will be pressing the technical buttons for me.
Remotely. Lovely.
Yes. So it'll just be me, like it used to be in the olden days.
Yes, it's funny because I was looking back at some of the beginning shows, you know, when HP would just wander in.
Wander through,
Yeah.
yeah. And do you remember, because it was Margaret's fault that Gemma got involved, because do you remember she used to say, why can't you just put Gemma on a mic? Because she used to come and say things from the corner, didn't
Yes,
she?
she
Like
did.
give us stock updates
Yeah.
or whatever. And
Yeah.
I just repeated, she's like, it would be easier just to put Gemma on a mic.
Yeah.
Which was always a big no-no in shopping telly.
Yes.
Because it was like, if you can't see that person, it's a bit weird to have their voice off. But I think we kind of got used to that with COVID, the social distancing and
Yes,
stuff. So it became a
absolutely,
thing
yeah.
that didn't really matter.
But I
And-
think it's nice because it gives that friendliness element. It's like having friends in the room with you when you're sewing, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think quite a lot of our ladies are sewing when they're watching us, and it's just
Yeah.
sort of company.
Absolutely.
And it's that little bit of banter that goes on between us all, and it's nice.
Well, I'll be here Friday, there'll be no bands. It'll just be me.
You just bump with yourself.
I'll be all alone. I might bring Mabel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
well,
me and
that'd be
Mabel.
nice.
Me and
You
my
and
mate
mates.
Mabel.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That'd be lovely. And then you're here live on Monday.
live on Monday.
With
You'll be
something
so bored
exciting.
of me.
You won't.
Monday is going to be a Lisa Chandler bag.
Nice.
The apron bag. We've not done it before.
Ooh, lovely.
Ooh,
Nice bit
very
of Lisa
pretty.
fabric.
Very pretty.
Love it.
And then Tuesday, like I say, we've got gifting the Odile way.
Nice.
Lovely.
It's lovely.
And then Wednesday, Jane, what is happening
I
on
am
Wednesday?
going to do a project with what will be the next subscription, which is beautiful purples.
We're nearly running out, aren't we?
We're coming to the end. I think we've got 2 more.
We've got November and December. We're done.
Yeah.
Do you know what we're going to do next?
No, what?
We are going to do a subscription. So next year, when this one finishes, when the plain subscriptions finish,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do another one, but with a blender.
Nice. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Your
it's lovely
stash.
to have some blenders in your stash.
It's really important.
Because you can quite often, you'll get some beautiful fabric and you just think, oh, I just need something to
oomph it,
Yeah,
zhuzh
just
it, all of
frame
that.
it, add a bit of extra to it.
All of
And
that.
it's lovely to have all of that in your stash at your fingertips.
Ali says, brilliant binding, join demo. Thank you, Jane. Definitely flair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, have a good rummage through the website. We have now taken the prices down on all of those beautiful Zappy dots.
Nice.
They make brilliant gifts.
Absolutely.
They make fantastic, Secret Santas, stocking fillers, a little gift that you can slip in a card if you're posting.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Really, really, really useful and very, very beautiful, and now massively reduced. So do pop those in your basket and check them out. Otherwise, when they're gone, they're gone.
Lovely.
Jane, you've done another beautiful demo. And what are you doing with the subscription next week?
Quilt.
Oh, it's a quilt.
Yeah, but a very simple block that makes into a quilt, which looks rather fabulous if I do say so myself.
I love it when you actually give yourself some credit. This makes me very happy indeed. Awesome. So Friday, guys, we will be doing our Pay It Forward. I'll be showing you how to make that Christmas stocking, and we will be looking for the next Pay It Forward project. What will it be? What can it be? What will it be?
Something lovely,
I might
expect.
Also do that thing that really annoys SJ, but there'll be no one here, so it's fine, of showing you some of the deals that were in the Friday newsletter.
Naughty.
I know.
Yeah, keep an eye out for your newsletter. There'll be some fabulous things in it.
There always are.
Yeah.
There always are on a Friday, and if you don't sign up for your newsletter on a Friday, you miss out.
Yeah.
On some crazy deals. And also take a look at the bolt ends, because they're always changing. Do check those out.
Yeah, because we add to them all the time.
Yep.
And there's a few little smaller pieces that aren't, you might like a nice cushion backing or a cushion out of them.
You never know. You never know.
Just add it to your stash.
So Jane, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.
We will see you next week.
Yes.
Guys, I will see you on Friday. Take care. Have a lovely day off tomorrow from us. And we'll see you Friday. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Bye.